This webinar will focus on the SE2D2020-6 legal and capacity building renewal applications. This is our test site, and this is what we use for educational purposes. So the first thing we want you to do is log into Sage, and I'm logging in as our test grantee. And then when you get to this page, your My Task won't be as hectic as this, since this is the test site for the entire Department of State so they can test their applications. So the first thing we want you to do, this webinar indicates that you have uploaded all your legal documents and everything is in compliance. So now what we want you to do is go to Documents, go to Document Type, and when you click the drop-down box, you won't see all this, and you'll only see the applications that you've submitted. And I need you to look for OFBI Social Enterprise Entrepreneurial Development 2019-5. And on the status, I want you to click Execute It and then click Search. So now you're at the All Documents search, and your organization should pop up. Since this is our test organization, Servicios Latino de Burlington County is here, but it should be the name of your respective organization. And under name, there'll be a blue link. I want you to click on that link. And so now you are at your application document snapshot. Now we want you to go to Related Documents, and we want you to click the link Initiate an OFBI Social Enterprise Entrepreneurial Development 2020-6. It'll bring you to the agreement page. You read these links, you click I agree. And this brings you to the document snapshot for your renewal application. And in the current status, it'll say application in process. First thing we want you to do is hover over forms and click profile information. All right. So what you want to do is make sure that all this is correct. And if it's empty, don't worry about it. We want you to do is check the box down here, put in your information, the organizational contact information. Since it's football season, I'm going to use football names, Jets, football, captain. Scroll up to the top and hit save. Now, if it's empty, if this is empty, then what I want you to do is fill in the organization contact information, click the box, and hit save. And then by hitting save, it'll populate all the information that you've uploaded in the additional profile information page. That's a good thing. Next, we want you to go to Forms and go to Selection of Grant Categories. And you'll write the name of the project. For testing sake, I'll use test, and click either capacity building and infrastructure development or legal capacity, whichever one you're receiving funds for, a grant for. And then you can hit save, or you can hit save next. If you hit save, in order to go to the next form, you'd have to hover over forms and go in order or go out of order. By hitting save next, it'll save the page and it'll take you to the next form. So now this takes you to the organizational contact information page. You have to make sure that all this stuff up here is in good order, and you'll have to fill in this information. So it's Mr. Herschel Walker, organization Houston Oilers, Houston Oiler Way, Houston, New Jersey, blah, 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 fake@gmail.com. You have to fill out all the boxes that have an asterisk. For the project director, it'll be Ms. Y, last name me, and the address is 123. I don't want this extra hat. City is, we'll use the Houston information, but you'll have to put in, the appropriate information. For the financial officer, it'll be Mo Money. The telephone number, the fax would be jets@jets.com. And for the budget, let's say $1 million. Then you can hit save or save next. I like to hit save. Then you'll see this box says that the information has been saved. Then the next form, if you do save, you can go into any form. It doesn't have to be any order, right? So the next form would be executive summary. Now, I have emailed you the grant guidelines for the SE2D2020-6. And so you'll need to read the grant guidelines to understand what we're asking you to put in this text box. So for educational purposes, I'm just doing test to move it forward. The text, the maximum number of characters is 5,000. Excuse me. And you hit save next to take you to the next form. And then this is a statement of collaboration. So we want you to indicate the 3 organizations that you're going to be partnering with in helping you move this project forward. So the first one would be organization 1, and then in the text you would write the name of the organization, and in the text box you would write a summary of what their role is going to be relative to the implementation of this program. And then you hit save. When you hit save, you'll see up here in this blue banner, the add button. Click add so you can put in the information for the second collaborating statement. And so you would put the name of the organization in the collaborating organization box, and then you would put a brief summary indicating what their role is going to be in the implementation of your program. You hit save. And then for the third organization, you'll click on add. You'll scroll up to the top, you click add. You'll write the name of the organization here, test 3. And again, a summary of what their role is in the implementation of this program, and you'll hit save. After you've hit save, then there is this drop-down box here, and this is where you can verify that all 3 organizations have been inputted into Sage. And then now you can hit save next. or you can just go to forms and go to whatever forms you want to work on. So under the business plan, the grant guidelines will ask you specifically what each box is asking you to put in. Even though it's social venture concept, the questions are relative to legal capacity and or capacity building for the entire business plan. So for argument's sake, we'll just put test to keep it moving forward. Pays, 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 paste, paste, and paste. The financial requirements, this is really your budget narrative. In the past, we asked you to upload a separate budget narrative, but it never made sense why we did that. So in here, you would have to write your budget narrative. Then you scroll to the top and you hit Save Next. And again, the characters are 5,000. The grant guidelines might indicate 4,000, but go by the characters count in Sage. Then you're in the budget, right? So you're in the budget. This is the personnel breakdown. Now, in the past, there were limits to the total amount of money that you can use for personnel. I'm waiving those limits. So you can dump the entire award into personnel. You can do 50%. You can do whatever percentage you want. So for those organizations that have folks that are going to be doing fringe and non-fringe, do your fringe folks first. And I'm just putting in numbers here just to give you an example. The position title is Mrs. Head Honcho in charge. Staff name is That's My Name. Annual salary, let's say it's 50,000. Standard weekly hours is 35 hours, and hours, weekly hours on project, let's say 10. I don't know. And funds requested by the organization is 10,000. So once you're done here with the folks with fringe, then you hit save. And Sage would automatically calculate the fringe and it give you the total on the bottom here. So the total is 10,800. So if you want to add non-fringe personnel, hold on for a second. If you want to add non-fringe personnel, go to add. It'll wipe this page clean. And you leave the fringes blank and you'll write, I don't know, that's quarterback for a position, staff name, touchdown maker, salary, let's say 35,000, weekly hours, let's say 35, weekly hours on the project, let's say 5, and let's say $5,000 you want to pay. And then you hit save. So that'll calculate all that information on the bottom. And then if you go to this drop down box, you'll see two personnel forms, one for Mrs. Head Honcho in charge and the other one for the Jets quarterback. So Mrs. Head Honcho in charge has fringe and the Jets quarterback doesn't have fringe. Then you go to forms, or you can hit save next, and you go to consultant and contractors. So this budget is for $20,000, just so that we can move forward. So let's say you're going to have a consultant. So you want to click yes here that says, do consulting services demonstrate a true employer non-employee relationship as per IRS regulations? Say yes. Put trainer basis for estimate. So, you have to put some type of justification. I'm just putting I don't know. The estimate cost is 4,200, and you're requesting 2,000, right? And then you hit save or save next, whichever one works for you. And then it'll be calculated on the bottom. So you go to forms and you go to other cost categories. So there's under course categories, you can utilize a maximum of 10% of the total award for administrative expenses. Admin expenses. I'm just going to use 1,500, and the justification would be something as simple as cost not yet associated to the project. Estimated cost 1,500. What you're charging the project is 1,500. There's a balance of 700, and so we'll go to equipment purchase. Only under other do you have to explain the other. So in this box, you'll say purchase, I don't know, one laptop. There's a balance of $700, so estimated cost is 7. What you're charging the organization is 7, and then you hit save next. So by hitting save next, it calculates, it does all the math for you here, and it saves it, and then takes you to the overall budget page. When you get to the overall budget page, the only thing we want you to do is click save. By clicking save on this page, it will populate all the numbers from the other budget forms onto this page. Hopefully it's $20,000 or whatever your grant award is. I said this grant is for $20,000. That's up for $20,000. Then what we want you to do is go to required appendices. So the only thing that you have to upload under required appendices is a board resolution that's been emailed to you. So, you browse, you find the board resolution, you upload it, and let me see if this allows me to. You may not be able to see anything on the screen. I'm just gonna upload something so we can keep moving forward. All right. So I found something, I uploaded it. Let's pretend it's a board resolution. You hit browse. And it's uploaded, and then you hit save. 3 letters of support. No, that's not accurate. So don't worry about this up here because I'm going to have this fixed before you submit the application. Hold on for a second. All right, so after you've uploaded the board resolution, then I need you to submit the other form is called appendices. And there's nothing that's mandatory for you to upload there. And so when you're done with all the forms and you make sure that there are no yellow hands that indicate an error like it does here, because I'm going to have that fixed before you submit it. Then I need you to go to status change and click application submitted. All right, so the renewal application is due no later than September 27th. I emailed you the grant guidelines for SE 2020-6 legal and capacity building along with the board resolution. So if you have any questions, give me a call. Thanks.